Hello, everybody. Today is December 14th, so that means it's 11 days until Christmas. Can you believe it? We're just getting closer and closer to Christmas. So soon enough, it's going to be Christmas Day, and we're going to be hugging people, wishing a Merry Christmas, and being happy, probably opening up presents, and just being surprised about what we get and people who might give us a present that we weren't expected, right? So those are beautiful experiences that we can all get a hold of, and it will not happen to you. Even if you don't think anyone loves you or anyone thinks of you. I received a Christmas card on the mail, and this is from Karen Morayo. She is our district director for Area D4. And I was happy to see that. It was beautiful. She made it personalized. And it's just beautiful the way she wrote. And it makes you feel special. It makes you feel appreciated and valued. So you can always give the feeling to someone, and it's not expensive. Just buying cards, they don't have to be branded. They can be from a package, where they're not so expensive. You can get them for under $1 or $1 if you buy packages. And if you bought them from last year after Christmas, they're usually cheaper. So you can always save them because there will always be the chance where you can send them to someone that you want to feel um, connected to, or you want them to know that you're thinking of them, or that you have wishes that they are happy, that they are healthy, that you want them to feel appreciated and valued. So the appreciation word is not coming out for me today, but you get my point and the intention of this. So my intention of doing the videos, as you know, is to get you closer to the spirit of Christmas, to the happiness, to those memories. Maybe you were in a cabin like this in my background. Maybe the Christmas tree or the snowman reminds you of a happy memory. Maybe the way the trees look on my side of the screen, on this side or that side, those will be there. And do you see right here? Let's go up right there. That's Santa. It's Santa close to the moon and coming into Earth with all those gifts that kids wrote letters to, that adults want. And sometimes a dream for someone could be finding a significant one, or having a relationship, or having someone that they can hug and kiss and say, I love you, I enjoy being with you, I value you, I appreciate you. You never know what are the desires of adults out there, and but that may be something someone is asking for, to have a significant one. And if you do have a significant one, then you're probably going to be asking for something else. Maybe something that is not related to relationships, but it could be related to health, abundance, prosperity, change of life, change of residency. You might want to move to another city, another country, try luck somewhere else. Maybe there is a city you've been dying for to go and visit. So I live in Las Vegas, and this is a touristic city. And it is the dream of many people in the world to come here, just as it is for us going to Paris, or going to Italy, or going to Spain, or another part of the world. And for some people, it's Israel or Maui. There are all those beautiful paradises in the world. And I don't know where you might be attracted to go, but I know that my city could be the dream for someone right now. And I live here. I got the privilege of living in this amazing city that it has so much to offer. We're all about entertainment, performances, shows, business, and growing and changing, constantly changing and changing the concept of who we are. The way we approach life is interesting because this is a city that moves really fast. And the more and more people that come into our city, they make it richer. They make it more of a variety. They contribute to our well-being with all their contributions as far as work, relationships, way of living, way of doing things. So the more and more people coming in here, it's the richest our city gets, because we get to have all this rich variety of inputs and ways of views, and it's tough at the beginning when you come here, because people see you like you're a little kid, you're ignorant or you are naive. That's kind of how they perceive you. And you can tell when people come in, or when they never drove in their life, and this is their first time getting a hold of a vehicle, and they're gonna be yelled at, they're gonna be beeped at. But eventually they come and learn the ways of life in here, and they get used to it. So when you've been many years, you kind of already know, you already have an expectation of how things are gonna go, and we get used to it. We get to like it. I'm in love with this city. I think it's wonderful to live here. This is my only city in 23 years. I haven't lived anywhere else after I came from Mexico. I do wish to visit Paris, Italy, Maui, go and check out those paradises. And it hasn't happened yet. That doesn't mean it's not coming. And I have a strong wish, a strong desire, and a strong belief that it's possible. So, what are your dreams and desires? Which city do you want to visit? Which city do you want to get married at? You know how many people travel to get married in Vegas, one of our chapels, to take pictures in our casinos, to ride a gondola at the Venetian, to go and watch the show at the Treasure Island, to go and walk outside of the Bellagio, to see the beautiful fountain, the dancing waters, and to see Paris, the structure, to see how it is to go inside that restaurant and going all the way on the top and have that amazing experience of a fancy dinner. And Vegas has so much to offer. Back in the day when I came here, downtown was the main attraction. And then they started to build Vegas Boulevard. So the last casino was like Treasure Island and Mirage. And then all of these casinos started appearing after Mandalay Bay. So then you saw MGM, Paris, um, Palazzo was one of the new ones. Bellagio, it was so luxurious. I remember when they first opened, they didn't even wanted people to bring kids. In my culture, we love to bring our kids everywhere we go. So my culture is very tempting to have the kids around with us, right? So when that news came around, we didn't like it because we didn't necessarily agree with leaving our kids at home when we went to Bellagio. And then after a while, when they saw that they didn't have much business and they wanted to attract more people, then they took the restriction out. Then now kids were allowed to come in. It's just what happened is that they spent a lot of money on building and making it beautiful. I remember those flowers, fresh flowers, and it was just so fancy, so beautiful. So I understand that they didn't want the kids to ruin it, but at the same time, sometimes when parents or people is on vacation and they have their children, they want them to enjoy as well the atmosphere, the way a place smells, the restaurants, so the environments and the ambiances on places a lot of times are defined by their food. What kind of restaurants do they have? What kind of stores? What kind of decorations? If you have fresh flowers, you're gonna have the smell of them, and also people constantly taking pictures. And you never know, someone just goes to your place just to take pictures. But once when they're there, they will definitely buy something that you're selling. They will definitely go in one of the stores or to your restaurant or to pick up something that they've been dying for to get. I remember a restaurant inside Paris that sells crepes, and people will go there just because they wanted to taste the flavor and the softness of crepes. And it was a little bit expensive, but it's once when you come into Paris, it's like being in the actual city because they said it's been recreated. So it's beautiful because you get the feeling of sitting outside. You see all these paints, the constructions are like very similar, and they did an amazing job, just like the one they did at Venetian. where people come here and they feel like they are there. That's how close the architecture is to these beautiful cities, the people wish they can visit. So we have that in Vegas, plus the whole entertainment industry where there are residencies of artists, or there is a temporary comedians or performers or singers, and it's just a whole variety that is so much to do. I call it the Disneyland for adults because once when you're here, there are so many places you can go that is hard to decide. And even for us that live here, where do we take you? I love the shows. Le Rêve was my favorite show. I believe they're not here anymore. They probably took a break or they went to another city. But Le Rêve was made of the 100 most popular dreams that people had. That's what they call it, like that. Le Rêve means the dream. So when you went into that show, it's like you feel and see yourself in a dream for everything, what is happening. And it's amazing. It's very surprising. And it's also the first time I saw a show on water, where if you were sitting at the front of the row, there was like water, and there will be these monsters that come out of the water. So when people didn't expect it, because you're so entertained seeing this couple on a boat, and there are dancers that you can only see their red heels on top and their beautiful legs, and then so you always sit in the front, and there are these monsters coming out of the water, and it was so surprising, and people were so glad that they were there. Hey, I'm back. I had a phone call I needed to take. So I believe I was telling you about how beautiful and awesome it is to live in Las Vegas, and that I know people is dreaming to come and get married here, and how rich is our ability to go into all these casinos and the see and get the feeling of another cities and parts of the world, and get this rich feeling of everything being possible and around you. So I don't know where you're coming from, if you were born here or not. You might not appreciate the richness of this city, or the city where you live in, or the country, or the little town. I remember years ago we went to, I believe it was Texas. No, I don't remember. Well, it was a city where we were taking from work. So when we were flying on the airplane, I see the land, and it's so much of land, and it's so green, and the houses were very separated. And I was surprised to see that, because here in Vegas, if you even if you come flying like on the way back, you see so many houses and buildings. So when I remember the place, I'll tell you. But it was out of state, and it was in Texas. It was somewhere else. I'll think of the name, and I'll tell you. Well, my point is that when you go to another city, even in the same country or to a small town, life is so different, and you get to appreciate the differences of where you live. So I was surprised to see that they have this big land and the houses are separated. So I thought, how much big love like that is, just a piece of land. And when I checked on prices, I was amazed of how cheap it is, to the big amount of land that you have to make a hotel, even if you wanted to. So I'll be surprised to see these houses from the clouds, and it's just a couple of houses, and it's so big of a land. It will look, the house will look like this, and then you have like this much of land that you can see from the airplane. And every place has its own beauty. It could be a lake, it could be a cascade, a fountain, it can be the mountains, it can be a beach, it could be attractions, rides like Disneyland. And every city has its own beauty, every place, every little towns. And it might be the hot chocolate you went and drink, close to church, or it might be the donuts, it might be the bread, it might be some kind of food that you just miss, and you haven't find anywhere else in the world where you visited, and it's just so delicious. And every time you think of it, the smell and the taste of it just makes you want to go back to it. And it's amazing our ability to perceive This is why we have five senses. So taste, touch, smell, sight, and hearing. So all those senses makes us enjoy even more anything that we are tempted to try, right? And you feel with each of your senses, places and people. Think of the first time you had your first relationship, and how did that feel? How did it feel to hug the person, to smell them, be able to kiss them, be able to spend time with them, and be able to exchange um, ideas? And how special did you feel? And how were you like looking forward for the next moment you even had 10 minutes to share with that person, because it's like you're on the clouds, you're so happy. There is nothing that can get you mad, because you are in this low vibration that it's so beautiful, and it makes you want to go back, like revive it, relive it. And even though every moment is different and every time you spend time with them is never the same, each moment has its own beauty, its own uniqueness. And so that's what it feels when you experiment a place, when you experience a place like that with all of your senses, when you're able to see the beauty, taste the flavor, and smell what it is that you are trying, and smelling those memories, and hearing the songs, hearing the music, and being able to touch, even touching water. If you touch water in a way where you're just enjoying it and just feeling it going through your fingers, it's an amazing experience, because it makes you understand that life is always flowing, it's always moving, but it's also generous. It's giving life, but it's always moving. It's always a movement, and even if it's quiet and still, you just have to throw a rock. And when you throw that rock of water, it makes the circles, right, that go wider and wider, opening, and then at some point stops. And if you throw a bigger rock, then it's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it stops, right? Because every impact has a time of replay. It's like the action replays itself, and at some moment the effect is done. So that's what happens when we have dreams and when we have desires. That you throw the desire, and it's put into the universe, and there is a response, and at some point, it's being sent out to you. It's just it takes time. It takes time for you to get ready. And sometimes what happens is that we through those desires, but we don't believe that they will be sent back to us. And when they are here, sometimes we feel it's too late, and it's not important anymore, because now we're wanting something else. And you know what that is? I don't know if you have experience of having little ones, but this is what happened with kids. So sometimes your little boy or girl will say, "Mommy, I want this toy," and if you buy it right away, they will play with it 1 or 2 days, because in like next week or couple of weeks they want another toy. And if you wait a week or two to buy that toy, if they're still talking about it, they really want it. But if they change their mind and they're not necessarily wanted it anymore, then the desire wasn't big enough. So that's what I do with my kids. I had two boys. So when one of my kids is telling me they want a specific toy, I wait to see if they keep on talking and talking and talking about it, then I buy it. Because if they don't, by the time I want to buy it, they already want something else. And that's what happens to us. It's our human nature that we have a desire and we want that specific item, person, situation, or level of achievement, or level of money or education, or whatever it is that we're pursuing, right? So we have this desire, and then we change that. Now we don't want that because we saw someone have it and it doesn't look like they're happy, or it doesn't look like we might be happy if we get it. Now we want something else, and it's either completely different, or it's opposite, or it doesn't matter anymore that we get the first desire, because sometimes the person we want that desire with, the person changes, and you don't even want to share your life with that person. You don't even want to have business where you're all partner. You don't even have a good relationship with your kids or your parents. So it's not important anymore. It could have been important to go to a city with them, but now you don't have a good relationship, or they don't have a good health, or you're unable to travel. So those desires change it, right? So they're not the same as the beginning when you had the desire first, because situations change it, where maybe for you it's more important to survive than going to vacations. So we still keep that ability of wanting things as when we are little. And when we become adults, there are not things anymore. There are situations. We want health, we want abundance, we want to get rid of pain, we want to be able to publish a book, to compose a song, to paint a beautiful picture, to dance, to take ballroom dance classes, to take salsa dance, to be able to play the violin, and to be able to ride and ride a horse and ride a bicycle and compose poems, send them to someone, right? So we have all these desires, and your dream might be to invent something, make an invention of something that will um, help the world, and possibly bring you some money, and possibly put you on the list of inventors who will transform the world. I don't know what your dream is. It's all possible if you believe in it. I want to think that is possible. And I want us to feel appreciation for 11 days until Christmas. We're close. Can you imagine? Not even 2 weeks. 11 days, we will be having a Merry Christmas. It's amazing. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. My name is Maria Ortiz. You can follow me on social media as Maria Speaks Love. My website is mariaspeakslove.com, and YouTube, same name. I have a bunch of web shows, different topics. And so this is 21 days until Christmas, but I'm doing the countdown. So eventually it's going to be Christmas Day, but today is the 14th. So it's 11 days. I love you. Thank you for watching.